A channel I enjoy about football is HITC7, and I recently watched his video asking whether a combined effort from Scandinavia would win the World Cup. So that's a football manager experiment if I've ever seen one. So I changed all the best current and future players in Scandinavia to all be in Danish. Scandinavia being Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, and Danish because they're the only one out of the Scandinavian three nations that have qualified for the Qatar World Cup. So starting in Qatar, let's give this Scandinavian combined effort 3 World Cups to win a World Cup. And 3 Euros as well. Now annoyingly, going into the first World Cup, Haaland picked up an injury in the last match before the tournament and will probably miss majority of it.
We cannot replace him. We cannot.
Actually, we can, because Scandinavia also have the Swedish striker Isak to get them the goals. The opening game of the competition is the hardest versus France, and Isak did score in a 3-1 loss. But they gave themselves a good chance of qualifying with a 5-0 win against Australia. And qualification to the knockout round for Scandinavia was secured when they defeated Tunisia in their final group game with a comfortable 4-0 win. Goals from Isak, Mæhle, Ødegaard and Christensen left them in second place on 6 points, with Mexico up next. A game in which Haaland returned to the starting 11 but played terribly by his standards. He was subbed off at half-time in fact, and Isak, who came on for him, scored the opener just 7 minutes later with a cracking header. And the big Swede doubled Scandinavia's lead with a wonderful strike soon after. Mexico did pull one back when a route one ball over the top found Santiago Jimenez, but they couldn't find another. And Scandinavia's quarterfinal opponents were none other than England. But this game was much easier for Scandinavia, and Erling Haaland scored within 15 minutes from Schmeichel's assist. Still in the first half, the ball was cut back to Thomas Delaney, whose shot flew into the top corner, and 5 minutes before half-time, Højbjerg got the third. England did score in the second half, but it was nothing more than a good goal by Bukayo Saka. Into the semi-finals then against Portugal, and Rafael Leão scored a wonderful finish into the far corner. Ronaldo then had a first half penalty, but Schmeichel saved it to keep Scandinavia in the fight. And in the second half, Haaland was put through and scored to send the tie into extra time and penalties. Unfortunately though, Scandinavia run out of luck after missing the 7th penalty, and Portugal went through. They actually went on and won the whole thing, while Scandinavia beat Germany in the 3rd place playoff. Not bad at all for a first attempt, so if you like these types of video, make sure you are subscribed. I might bring out some more. Despite Sweden having all of their players taken, they still almost cost Scandinavia a spot in the following Euros in 2024. But a 23-year-old Erling Haaland will miss the whole competition through an injury this time round.
Oh, God!
But they still had 9 players with a current ability above 150, so there was still every chance of a good showing in the tournament. Their group consisted of Italy, Poland and Turkey, who we defeated in the opening game. It was an easy 3-0 win with Isak scoring 2 goals already. But after a loss to Italy, Scandinavia needed a result against Poland to qualify, but Poland took an early lead. Thankfully, a 92nd minute equaliser through Christian Eriksen found the net from range to set them up against France in the knockouts, where it's as far as Scandinavia could go, and Tchouaméni scored another winner in the 90th minute. Hilariously, they've actually gone down in the world rankings since this experiment began.
Sorry, what?
On to the 2026 World Cup in the US, Mexico and Canada then. Unfortunately, this on Football Manager is when the new group system with just 3 teams is implemented for the World Cup. Scandinavia had a much better time qualifying this time round, though, winning all 10 matches. And Erling Haaland was match fit for them as well. After the Euros, Maurizio Sarri was now named as the new head coach of the side, and he's introduced a 4-3-3 tactic, and he's given debuts to players like Sheldrup. They went through the group stage nice and easily, winning 6-0 and 3-0. Coming up against a very good Nigerian side in the knockouts who took the lead and threatened to eliminate Scandinavia. But Erling Haaland stepped up and equalised in the 89th minute, taking the tie to extra time. Not ideal, but yeah, Kulusevski then put Scandinavia through, scoring the winner 10 minutes from the end. A much better performance against Serbia followed, and it's into the quarterfinals, where Erling Haaland knocked out host Mexico, scoring the one and only goal of the match. And a semi-final tie against Portugal gave them a chance to seek revenge. Once again, it was Erling Haaland who opened the scoring with what was probably the goal of the tournament, an absolutely crazy chip. But Portugal came back and equalised in the second half through Bernardo Silva, a good team goal. So Eriksen's free kick popped back to him and he found Haaland again, for the winner. Waiting for them in the final was another former winner of the World Cup, Spain. But Scandinavia have the best player in the world, and he once again got on the score sheet first. From a set piece though, Spain then equalise, and then they take the lead from the penalty spot. But with 10 minutes of the World Cup final left, Christian Eriksen banged in a beauty to take the match to extra time. But it was not to be Scandinavia's day, and Sanchez scored a third and the winner 5 minutes into extra time. That one is a tough one to take, especially with Haaland scoring 12 goals in the tournament. And it's taken them up to the highest rank of 4th so far. Euro 2028. A nice and easy qualification for Scandinavia. And 2 years on, they have dropped down to 8th place. But lightning has struck for a third time. Haaland is out of the whole tournament again. He's injured while in his prime at 195 current ability as well. And I could just go in and remove his injury with the editor, but I don't think it's fair to do so. Maurizio Sarri is still in charge though, and there are still some quality players in this team. Norway is in the group though, which can't be helped I guess, but it is rather funny. And after a loss to Italy in the opening game, they did beat Norway 3-1. And they comfortably beat Wales in the last group match 2-0 to qualify for the knockouts against Romania, who knocked us out in one of the shocks of the tournament. England went on and won in the final against the Netherlands 3-0. Right, the final World Cup of this experiment, Scandinavia qualified with another 8 wins from 8 games. And the tournament, to be held in Spain, seen Scandinavia in Group B with Cameroon and Panama. And they have a fully fit Erling Haaland. And with only one new gen, this whole team is pretty much the original side, managed by Ronald Koeman. Scandinavia smashed through their group with 2 wins, including a 9-0 win against Panama. And they overcame Japan in the second round knockout stage. It was only Brazil in the next round for Scandinavia, no problem, except they did go and score through Vinicius Jr. just 7 minutes in. And then he went and got a second by the 20th minute too. But waking up from his first half nap, Erling Haaland bagged a first goal. And Dejan Kulusevski sent the match into extra time and penalties. It could be anyone's game now, my most hated thing in football, penalty shootouts. And yes, that does include VAR and the "can I have your shirt" signs. I hate them. But after Brazil scored their 4th penalty, Swedberg missed the 4th for Scandinavia. And Emerson Royal ended the World Cup dreams for Scandinavia. At that point, they were in 7th in the world rankings also. Spain went on and won back-to-back World Cups for the first time since 1962 Brazil. But the worst possible news for the Euros is that Haaland has retired from international football, aged just 29.
Don't do this! You can't do this!
But Scandinavia proved they didn't need him, and they easily qualified for Euro 2032 without him. The tournament, to be held in Scotland and Wales, Scandinavia was drawn in a group with France, Hungary and Romania, with the Copenhagen manager Næstrup in charge. And considering the talisman weren't there, they still had a good team led by Martin Ødegaard and Kulusevski. So maybe, as one banded together team, they will go on and win this final tournament. No, they lost every game in the group 1-0. Well, there we go. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this experiment. Why not check out this video where I trapped 2 of the brand new Wonder Kids from the winter update down in non-league. I enjoyed it. I hope you do too.